All right, guys, looks like we are live. Welcome back to Roxham TV and also welcome back to Jam Crypto. As always, I'm coming to you live from Monday to Friday on at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're watching this live, I really appreciate you guys. Do make sure before we start the live stream, make sure to subscribe to both Roxham TV and also my own YouTube channel, so Jam Crypto. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. Bitcoin is mostly just consolidating. In terms of the Bitcoin price action, I'll be honest, like nothing changed majorly compared to our previous live stream that I did just literally 24 hours ago. We are right now sitting at 112. Of course, we're gonna look at the chart, do a little bit of TA analysis. But today I kind of want to focus a little bit more on the news section. So about stablecoins and also about AI. How many of you use AI? Because I personally use AI every single day. I will say it's a lifesaver. Like I've been using AI for well, God knows how long, because when ChatGPT came out, so for years. So I honestly I couldn't remember the day that like the time before AI. Right now I couldn't survive without AI. I'm talking to AI every single day, whether it's doing research or even like personal stuff. It's like therapy, having a therapist in the pocket of my trousers. So that's how much I'm deeply integrated my life with AI. And also AI kind of have I see huge integration between AI and crypto. AI agents need crypto to do with the payments, because there will be more AI agents coming in our life moving forward. So all these AI agents would trade between each other. So the best options when it comes to payment is no doubt crypto. So crypto or Bitcoin or stablecoins. So I'm seeing like AI using crypto, and also crypto needs AI to become better. We're going to look into the deal between Nvidia and OpenAI, because I think it's really interesting, and especially for us Bitcoin folks, is something that we should really look into. But without further ado, as you know, like if this is not your first time watching my show, I like to open my show with a little bit of TA. So of course, we're going to start with the hourly chart of Bitcoin. So if you guys have been watching my shows, and congratulations, because we caught the bottom beautifully at 111. We dipped a little bit below, so just over 111. To be precise, is 111049. So that's not bad. We caught the bottom rather well. That's on the hourly chart. The reason why we managed to call this so well is because we saw this like rising channel forming for days. So I told my community that, okay, there are two scenarios for this like rising channel. Basically, like we have to watch the breakout point very closely, and when the breakout point happens, we just need to take that's the rising channel, and we just need to take the width of this rising channel, so right here, and we go to the breakout point, so which is right here, and boom, we got like 111. All right, so we managed to call the bottom very beautifully. I do think it's the local bottom in terms of the hourly chart, so congratulations if you guys were trading this. However, if we look at the hourly chart, and let's zoom closer, maybe we could see more perspective. Like when we see this pattern that have been forming in the past a day or two, like, okay, 2 days, maybe, okay, a little over 2 days. What we are seeing here is that we have lower highs and also lower lows. This is not particularly bullish for Bitcoin. So let's see like how well Bitcoin would hold 111 as the key support level. But on the hourly chart, it does look like it's just like consolidating. So between 111 to 113, like 113.0 0.2, somewhere like that. So it does look like it's consolidating and bouncing within this rectangle that I drew. Maybe, okay, let me draw a solid rectangle that might help to clear the picture a little bit more. So this rectangle, so we're basically bouncing inside this box, and we have been, what we're doing is just like building momentum. Like if you guys are degen trader, some of my friends, they are really advanced traders and they are very degen, they like risk for no particular reason. They can just like trade within this box and pull some leverage. So when you see Bitcoin reaching the top of like this box, so 113, some of the traders will pull a short. And then when you see Bitcoin dip to 111, then it's a good time to pull a long. But I'm just sharing some of the strategy that's really advanced traders would use. I don't trade as much compared to my friends, but I'm more like a long-term investors when it comes to this kind of stuff, because I'm perfectly okay if I go on holiday and without checking Bitcoin's price for a month, because I know long-term Bitcoin's gonna do well and we are going to high places. So that's for the hourly. Let's also hop onto the daily chart because it might offer some more perspective. Sorry about the internet. We have a typhoon here, so the internet is affecting a little bit. And let me know, like, where you guys based in? Because some of you guys are watching live right now. I see Bam Bam Crypto watching live. Oh, thanks for watching. Like, thanks for tuning in, because I see you have been tuning in for quite a few days in a row. So thank you so much for your support. And Mr. is saying watching live from Eastern time zone. Wow, that might be pretty late or early for you. So 4 a.m. for you. Thank you so much for your support. But okay, let's hop on to the daily chart for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, basically, I'm eyeing this level, like I'm eyeing 117, this level. The reason why 117 is so important, okay, like Bitcoin had a nice little rally from August, like late August, all the way till mid-September, like an 8% pump in a matter of 19 days. That's really good. However, like this level is so critical, as you can see, like we were just like wicking above 117. If we don't manage to literally like break above 117, maybe we test this level of support, then all of this like major rally, like a nice little rally, is just noise. So 117 is so important because, okay, this is also the prior high that we saw on 22nd of August. And also if you zoom out, it's like the mid-range for the consolidation period. So between 112 to 119, this is almost a mid-range, somewhere around that. So that's why 117 is so important. At the moment, we're still trading below this level. So even though if we have like a major rally, and if we do get rejected at 117, it's just noise. So once we get to 117 and really test it as a level of support, then we'll talk. Then maybe the next major resistance, we could go back to the all-time high of 123 or even 124, somewhere around that. So that's for the daily chart. Let's also hop on to the weekly chart of Bitcoin. So again, my internet is a little bit slow because of the typhoon. Hope you guys, wherever you're watching, hope you guys weren't affected by the typhoon. All right, so again, like 117 is a level that I'm watching. Again, like if we do get, we tested 111 as the level of support, but if we lose that support, it's still not the end of the day. Like, okay, let's pull out the bull market support band and also the 50-week moving average, because these two indicators are so far my two favorite, I would say. All right, so let's zoom closer. And what we witness here is that actually, like this weekly candle is just using the bull market support band as the level of support. So between 109 to 111, we are really forming like a cloud, like a band of support. So we are just like going back to retest this level of support. Like it's not the end of the day. I like how TA works because rising channel told us 111 is a critical level, yet also the bull market support band is telling us 111 is a key level. Even if we lose this, it's not the end of the day because we still haven't cast the 50-week moving average. So we have like, in other words, we still have like a lot of room for, even if we experience a correction, I'm not like too concerned because it's still very far apart from where we are. So 112 down to the 50-week moving average is like 99, something like that. So it's around like 12%. I'm not concerned, even if we test that as a level support. Like, let's see if we close below it or just wick below it, because that changed how we see the market majority. All right, so that's for the Bitcoin chart. That's for the TA. Let's hop on to the news section because I do want to dive deeper into Tether. What Tether doing today is it's very bullish in terms of the whole, like for the whole crypto scene, the whole crypto space, and also for stablecoins and how institutions will just like get in and get into the stablecoin sector. All right, so Tether looking to raise up to 20 billion, bring its valuation to $500 billion. So Tether is seeking to raise 15 billion to 20 billion for a 3% stake in the company through a private placement. The raise would value Tether at approximately 500 billion, comparable to companies like OpenAI and SpaceX. Okay, if you didn't know, like, okay, let's check out SpaceX market cap. SpaceX market cap is $400 billion. For OpenAI is $500 billion. So if Tether managed to raise, which I have convictions in them, like it's easily gonna cross OpenAI and SpaceX, and those are massive companies. That's why I'm so bullish. Tether reported a $4.9 billion net profit in the second quarter this year, like second quarter alone, with $162 billion in reserves against $157 billion in liabilities. All right, so Tether, as we know, has been dominating the market. And if you hop onto the CoinGecko website, you know that, well, it's a giant, it's a bigger stable coin. We are sitting at $172 billion market cap. So that's billion with a B. All right, the reason why I'm so bullish on stablecoin sector, or even Tether in more specific term, is that, okay, Tether is actually used by more than 300 million people around the world. It's being used by like more than the bank's customer base. So that's why regulators and the banks, big banks, institutions are so fearful when it comes to Tether. If you don't know the context, more than 20% of the world population is unbanked. And guess where they turn to? They'll just use Tether, USDT, because it's so easy to send money around, especially if you come from lower income country and you're working in another higher income country. So you have your salary. It's like, I'm seeing a lot of like Asian countries, for example, Philippines, they use crypto mainly for remittance, which is I think is a really good case for stablecoins. So about this, like, let's come back to the deal. I mean, the valuation and also the fundraising stuff. So Tether announced that literally just yesterday. So yeah, so actually, well, I don't know why, but like I saw the news, I think 20 hours ago. Okay, they broke the news and then they announced that they'll be raising 15 to 20 billion in private round. This is bigger than SpaceX. It's actually close to JPMorgan size. So why now? I would say Tether is really riding the momentum. We are seeing a major uptick when it comes to the demand of stablecoins. Like, it's just growing and doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. And for this deal structure, they are basically selling equity. It's not debt. It's not raising fund through debt. So Tether keeps control while investors get a seat at the table. So timeline-wise, we are looking at maybe Q1 2026 in order to close this round. And just a side note here, like Tether's headquarters is actually in El Salvador, where crypto laws are very friendly and ties to Bitcoin mining bonds. And so it's a very crypto-friendly country. And this positioning lets Tether dodge some of the US regulatory heat, I would say. We're also going to talk about like the Genius Act and USAT in a bit. But okay, let's come back to this deal. And basically, like, okay, you could be asking the question, if Tether is making so much profit, like 4.9 billion net profit in just one quarter alone, like, why would they need so much money? What are they using that money for? And where is that revenue coming from? Because some people will find it very, very dodgy. Why a small company like that? Because Tether only has like a few dozen employees, like definitely less than 100. Was that like 40 something? I can't remember exactly, but definitely less than 100 employees. Yet they are printing billions of dollars. So where is that revenue coming from? So take a look at this. So Tether revenue stream. First of all, like a huge chunk comes from the interest of US Treasury bills. So Tether largest holding is US Treasury securities. And because US has been hiking rates back in 2022, and we are still, like, arguably, we are still at a high rate environment. So because Tether is getting the yield from even like US Treasury bills, that's like they hold like 127 billion when it comes to the treasury holder. That makes Tether actually the 8th largest treasury holder. And when they are earning more than 4% yield, they are earning multi-billion, like $3 billion every single quarter. So that's one of the income. The second one is actually the asset they invested. So for the Tether's treasury, reserve, they are holding 50,000 BTC and also gold. And we have covered this like multiple times. Of course, like Bitcoin, we talk about every single day. For gold, it keeps breaking new all-time high because of geopolitical tension, because of trade war. So yeah, those like unrealized gains are insane, accounted for a large portion of its record-breaking profits in 2024. And also there's like some strategic investment. Tether makes direct investment in various companies and projects, primarily in the technology and media sector. And one example is Rumble. I'm not sure if you guys use Rumble. I use Rumble a lot because I like to have like bigger exposure. So all of my videos and live stream, I actually link to Rumble. And turns out Tether is also a indirect investor of the platform Rumble. And Tether is also like getting some fees. So Tether issue collateralized loans which generate interest income as well. So that's why they are earning so much money. And for those of you who have doubt, okay, why Tether is raising so much cash, is it because they don't have enough money? No, it's the other way around. They just want to get bigger and really accelerate the growth. So they are using that money of course, like majority, like 50% of them would go to USDT issuance. And other bet is AI integration, like green energy. And again, that ties to like Bitcoin mining and AI. AI can make like Bitcoin mining when it comes to the energy usage more efficient. So that's why I think for us Bitcoin folks, we do really need to pay close attention to the AI sector. I personally, I use AI every single day and it's great. And then 20% of the money they're raising here would go to like new stable coins like USAT. That is the US compliance stable coins. And the reason why they would create a separate stable coins for US market in particular, because of the Genius Act, like they are asking, okay, you have to, like only approved entities can issue stablecoins, no interest allowed based on the Genius Act. So no interest allowed because banks were lobbying hard for that. Stablecoins are a direct threat to the business. So they're saying, okay, it's not a good idea for stablecoins holder to be able to earn a yield on the USDT that they're holding. And also, when it comes to the US stablecoin, it has to be 100% backed, of course, with monthly audit. For Tether case, like USDT, like some of that money, like some of that profits would go to buying Bitcoin and also buying gold. So it actually makes sense for Tether to have a separate stablecoin like USAT instead. So on a global scale, the majority of people will still use USDT, while in the US, USAT will be more common moving forward. And traditional banks not gonna like this because okay, if just 10% of US deposit, like $1.8 trillion shipped to stablecoin, banks could lose their cheap funding. Like who wants to put their money in the banks anymore, right? And stablecoins could really threaten the $2 trillion in global payment fees. Since USDT transactions settle in seconds, not days. So that's why banks are really shitting the pants right now. And Tether is so giant. We just saw the market cap is $172 billion. And also when it comes to daily trading volume, it exceeded $1 trillion. So people are calling this like the future JPMorgan of crypto, while some people would say is like a little bit concerning, especially if you have a traditional mindset, then people would think is concerning. What if there's like a bank run issue, stuff like that. But who is buying this round? Of course, there's just like early whispers, nothing confirmed yet because they haven't closed this round. But the early whispers are saying that sovereign funds in the Middle East, so the oil money, is moving into Tether. Also, there are different VCs like A16Z and also some TradFi folks like BlackRock. Of course, BlackRock will be very interested in round like this. And then there are different exchanges, DAOs are looking into this round. El Salvador's, because like the headquarter of Tether is in El Salvador, so might as well. This like 500 billion valuation for a company like is very attractive. It keeps like, especially if Tether keeps growing, I'll say. But let's take a step back. Right now, let's look at USDC because Tether has always dominated the stablecoins market. But USDC benefited majority from the Genius Act because USDC has always been the good child. It's always US compliant. However, having stuff like USAT is really placing a lot of threat to USDC businesses, because when it comes to revenue stream, a lot of that USDC revenue relies on the treasury. So I mean, Tether has that as well. So like the treasury bills, the yield. But one thing Tether also have is gold and Bitcoin. And also they do a lot of like investment and lending and stuff. So that's why like USDC might be under a lot more stress seeing news like this. And if Tether managed to close the round, like the 500 billion valuation, that would leave like USDC. Okay, let's say it remains $73 billion. Like that is a majority, like a major difference of like 6 or 7x when it comes to just the market cap alone. So yeah, I'm not very bullish on USDC, even though when it came out, like the IPO came out, I didn't trade. It feels like the whole thing was a little bit frothy, so I leave that out. But like seeing news like this just make me even more bearish when it comes to USDC and the company as general. But anyways, like the key takeaway about this is that we are seeing the world's money system is changing, and it's changing fast. Tether isn't just printing digital dollars, it's rewriting what banking looks like in the 21st century, I would say. All right, so that's for stablecoin. Let's move on to the AI section that I want to talk about. So why this deal is so interesting. Okay, what happened is that OpenAI and Nvidia announced strategic partnership to deploy 10 gigawatts of Nvidia systems. So here are the details. Like strategic partnership enables OpenAI to build and deploy at least 10 gigawatts of AI data centers with Nvidia systems, representing millions of GPUs for OpenAI next generation AI infrastructure. To support the partnership, Nvidia intends to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI progressively as each gigawatt is deployed. The first gigawatt of Nvidia systems will be deployed in the second half of 2026 on Nvidia's Vera Rubin platform. So there are a lot of jargons here, but don't worry, we're going to dive deeper and going to offer some explanation there. So this deal actually ties directly into OpenAI's Stargate project. So which is a $500 billion plan to build the world's largest AI super infrastructure. Think of it as a nationwide nervous system for AI. Stocks reacted immediately after this news. So Nvidia popped 5%, while rivals like AMD dropped, of course. But the deal also triggered debates about monopoly power, energy usage, and who really controls the future of AI. But let's take a step back because, okay, there are a lot of jargons. Maybe if some folks are not familiar with AI, you might get confused with terms like gigawatts. Like, what the hell is gigawatts? So gigawatts is very power hunger. So 1 gigawatt powers 750,000 homes. OpenAI's 10 gigawatt plan equals 7 nuclear plants worth of energy. So supporters said it will drive green innovation, like critics warn about blackout. And when it's come to the Nvidia GPU, of course, there are different types being used. Like actually, if you get into the details of this news, this partnership, there are the Nvidia's H100 chips and also the latest Vera Rubin GPUs being used. So the Vera Rubin GPUs is the latest one, launching in 2026. The Rubin chip is so much more advanced compared to H100. So it packs like 3 times more memories, 2 to 4 times faster speeds, and better efficiency for ultra long prompts. So think of H100 as the pickup truck and Rubin as the futuristic electric semi-truck. So what's really in this deal? Well, why is Nvidia investing so much money in OpenAI? That's where it gets interesting. It certainly looks like that they're just passing money around. And I can't help, but I saw this picture. Yeah, it's very interesting. The structure is basically a loop. So Nvidia would invest in OpenAI. OpenAI will then use that money to buy more Nvidia chips. So better AI drives more demand for Nvidia hardware, is circular, but massively profitable for both sides. Nvidia also gets equity in OpenAI, while OpenAI secure better capital without losing too much control. So basically, it's just like this loop right here we are seeing. Elon Musk actually commented on this picture. So yeah, I don't know. Elon Musk, we know that he definitely not a big fan of Sam Altman of OpenAI. Elon Musk co-founded OpenAI, but now runs XAI. And he explicitly say his concern that this whole deal does feel like a monopoly, because Nvidia already controls 80 to 90% of the AI chip market, and this type partnership, it could lock out rivals for sure. So Elon Musk XAI just built a 100,000 GPU cluster, but if Nvidia prioritizes OpenAI, he sees this as unfair and anti-competitive. So this tension also highlight a bigger fight, like OpenAI centralized mega compute versus XAI scrappy speed. Like, how many of you use Grok, by the way? Let me know in the live chat. I use Grok every single day. And if you don't know, like, okay, let me go to Grok. Right now, they have this latest launch. So we have the fast response, we have the expert response, and we have the Grok 4 fast. This was just like recently launched just a few days ago, and I'm loving this. So just like a quick context, so Grok 4, so the regular one, Grok 4 was launched in July. It's like the flagship of XAI with native tool and real-time search. But this Grok 4 fast, I have to say I'm really impressed. Because what changed? So between Grok 4 fast and Grok 4, there is like a major upgrade. Like when it comes to the cost collapsed by like up to 98% cheaper compared to Grok 4. So that's like one of the biggest benefit, one of the biggest improvement that I'm seeing in Grok 4 fast. The second one is the tokens that come with it. So right now, Grok 4 fast is advertising a 2 million token context across the feature. So the tokens would be useful for multi-file coding section, discovery work, and analysis more at scale. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with AI, what the hell is token? Like, do you mean crypto token? No, I don't mean the crypto token. So for AI token, what I mean is a token is a unit of text that the model reads or generates. It isn't always the same as a word. Like a token could be a whole word. It could be parts of a word or even like spaces. So like characters. So for example, let's say the sentence, ChatGPT is amazing, for example, okay, for example. For an AILM model is actually reading as ChatGPT is amazing. So that's 6 tokens. Different models have slightly different ways of chopping up text, but that's just like a general rule of thumb. So let's come back to the AILM model. I'm in love with Grok 4 fast, if you couldn't tell already. People are drawing the comparison between Grok 4 fast and also GPT-5. If you didn't already know, GPT-5 was announced back in August. It integrated across Microsoft services the same day. So there are a lot of like good features and include like when to think harder or when to do like a light response, something like that. While Grok 4 Fast was literally just launched a few days ago. And there are different metrics that Grok 4 Fast is really winning by miles compared to GPT-5. So GPT-5 know when to think, like when to prioritize depth, reliability, but Grok 4 Fast is winning when it comes to the speed and also cost control. I was reading this tweet, so basically here's a summary between Grok 4 Fast and also GPT-5. So it is 23 times lower cost between these two LLM. The input tokens is 84% cheaper, output tokens 95% cheaper, output speed 150% faster. Yeah, so that's how advanced Grok 4 Fast is. Of course, there are still areas that I think ChatGPT or GPT-5 in particular is doing better. Like if you want to do like a harder planning, harder research, then I think GPT-5 is still winning on that aspect. But when it comes to speed and cost control, like Grok 4 Fast is winning by miles. How many of you use Grok? By the way, I love Grok because the information that I'm getting is so instant. Everyone is tweeting every single day around the world. So you have like new information all the time. I use Grok for when it comes to crypto research. I use it to know the sentiments around certain stuff, or even just like some overview of a project is extremely useful. ChatGPT is great as well, but if you run the deep research, it takes a little bit more time. And also, I feel like the data that is feeding into the AI is not like instant enough. While Twitter, we get like instant tweets whenever something happens, whenever some events broke. So yeah, I love using Grok. But okay, let's come back to Bitcoin or crypto. How does it like tie back? Like why as a Bitcoin savvy investor or like crypto investor, why do we need to know about this? So Nvidia's $100 billion bet isn't just about AI. Like it's built into AI crypto convergence, I would say. As I mentioned in the beginning of the show, AI agents would need to transact with each other, and the best way for them to do it is definitely through crypto or through Bitcoin. Or you could even incorporate it into the Lightning Network, so Lightning Network payments, or even collateralized compute with BTC. So what I'm saying is that the possibilities are endless. I'm seeing so much integration between AI and Bitcoin or crypto as a whole. So the key takeaway is that, okay, this NVIDIA OpenAI pact is more than just a mega deal. It's shaping the balance of power AI, like power in AI and even influencing crypto. It accelerates the path to AGI, but raises real questions about energy, monopoly, and ethics. So hence we have XAI, hence we have Elon Musk. But like for us in crypto, it's another signal that AI and Bitcoin are colliding into the same future super cycle, I would say. So that's for the AI sector I want to talk about. Let's move on to the joint force between the US and UK. I wanted to talk about this yesterday, but I didn't have enough time. So what's happening here is that, okay, there's a more more tie between US and UK, again, the possibilities just become endless. It's always endless when it comes to Bitcoin. And I do see a lot of like similarities between US and UK, these two countries. So first, the US has approved Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs, and it's the current administration are very pro-crypto. They have mostly crypto-friendly regulations, while the UK, like after the Brexit, UK is trying to make London a hub for digital finance with like reforms and new stablecoin laws. So I will say not just US and UK, but globally, the demand for clearer crypto regulations is rising. And nations are really competing with each other to get more capital, to get more innovation within the country. So let's dive a little bit about this like joint force between US and UK. So there are different mandates, but ultimately it just comes down to three main goals. So in the short term, of course, there will be more like aligned regulations on stablecoins. The US, we have the Genius Act already. So USDT and USDC, of course, when it comes to stablecoin, there will be AML, there will be KYC and licensing. So on that ground, they're gonna have more integration when it comes to stablecoin laws in between these two countries. Long term wise, I'm speculating that they'll be exploring RWA, so tokenized securities like blockchain bonds. And we know BlackRock is diving deep into the RWA sector. Like one thing about the big institutions is that, okay, when Bitcoin came out, when crypto came out, BlackRock was so against, like Larry Fink was talking poop on national TV, being like Bitcoin is being used by criminals, yada, yada, yada. But like once these institutions figure out a way to make money in this sector, they are diving their head and toes and there's no coming back. So definitely they'll be exploring RWA, and also the third mandate I would say is sandbox. So create like shared test bed, like a testing zones where blockchain startups can experiment in both countries without facing full regulatory burdens. So why does this matter? Of course, like the regulatory clarity, it will reduce risk and attracts big money. And also, what I'm thinking or speculating here is that there might be almost like a crypto passport. Like what I mean here is that maybe a license in the US works in the UK and vice versa. That's just what I'm speculating. Like if that's really the case, that'll be extremely cool. All right. And I do think there'll be major innovation coming from these two countries, like because they have this sandbox. So sandbox will let like DeFi project, new RWA project, or even NFTs. Okay, I'm not a big fan of NFTs, but like it will also like help foster that growth a lot faster. And seems like UK and US, they are both really powerful countries in the world. Like I do think this is gonna set more tone to the global market. So more countries gonna follow suit. And we have seen like collaboration like this. So Singapore and Hong Kong, we have the fintech bridge. So it was just more like a joint sandbox for startup. So as the UAE and Switzerland, they are collaborating on some DeFi pilot. And G7 stablecoin group, they are also like shaping some AML rules worldwide. So having this, because like last week we covered this, but it was more like an MOU sign. But now it's not like a fate talk anyway. It's a structured plan with deadlines. If successful, it could lower compliance costs, accelerate tokenized finance, and really give crypto companies a fast track between New York and London. So in short, like they're partnering and build something great for the crypto space for Bitcoin. It's gonna be a ultimate net positive for us, which I like. And I do think there's gonna be a trend. More countries will follow suit. All right, so that's pretty much all the news sector I want to cover today. But before I wrap this live stream, one thing caught my eye when I woke up this morning is that, okay, YouTube admits the Biden administration pressured them to censor Americans, offers terminated channels opportunity to rejoin the platform. Yeah, I saw news like this, and okay, I'm a YouTuber, so I have been doing crypto YouTube content for more than 4 years. When I started, it wasn't on Jam Crypto; it was on other channels. So when I saw news like this, I feel so deeply, I feel like so deeply affected by this, because some of my friends who are crypto YouTubers, like all of a sudden, like one day, YouTube would just like walk in and ban the channel, and yeah, the next day you lose your channel when you have been building that for years. Like all that engagement, all the community is gone just like that. That's how YouTube works. And for my personal experience, like, okay, I do Bitcoin analysis, but like when you do Bitcoin analysis, is like you have to touch on some politics stuff because it's deeply tied. Everything is intertwined and connected to each other. So yeah, even though I wasn't being so, like, I was aware of the political stance, I was avoiding some sensitive topic, I will still get banned for some content that I created, which I find it really weird. And that was especially during the Biden administration. There was a period, like after Donald Trump took over, there was a period that YouTube is still extending that tight, I would say, like regulation or tight scrutiny. That's the word. So tight scrutiny for YouTubers, but like seeing stuff like this, I just feel so unfair, and it constantly remind us of how how dangerous the whole centralized systems are, and the beauty of decentralization. And that ties back to the core value of Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is completely decentralized. The whole network of Bitcoin is like beautifully designed. And yeah, I mean, hopefully, when more people know about decentralization, more people know about the Bitcoin blockchain or the whole network, then yeah, because it kind of breaks my heart if someone don't know that we are in a matrix to begin with. Even, I don't know, like crypto or AI, I keep thinking about that. So yeah, I just want to, because I feel really emotionally attached. I have experienced that before. So have my friends, many of my crypto YouTuber friends. So yeah. But okay, that's pretty much the wrap for this live stream. Before you go, the last bit, the last call to action, make sure to follow me on Twitter. It's jamjamcrypto_IO. Make sure you put _IO instead of jamjamcrypto, because this is the hacked account and the hacker blocked me. That's being ridiculous. Okay, so make sure to follow my Twitter and also follow Roxham TV. And we're going live right now. You're going to see my face in a bit. So there you go. That's me. All right. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Same time for tomorrow. So 4 a.m. Eastern time to 5 a.m. Eastern time. If you guys are watching this live, I really appreciate that. Just let me know in the live chat, because I love talking to you guys and I love looking at the comments. All right, so if you don't manage to catch me live, make sure you just watch the replay, the playback on both Roxham TV and Gemini Crypto. Yeah, that's all I want to say, and I will see you guys same time tomorrow.